Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemical Compass, your go-to place for easy and clear chemistry lessons. In today's video lecture 3rd, we are diving into a really important but simple concept, atomic size, also called the atomic radius. What is what, why does it change across the periodic table, and why does it matter? I will explain everything step by step, so stay with me till the end. Let's start with the basics. So, what exactly is atomic size? Well, it's basically the distance from the center of an atom to the nucleus to its outermost electron. Since atoms don't have solid edges because electrons move in clouds, atomic size is a kind of a best estimate. Scientists call it the atomic radius. It's super tiny. We measure it in units like picometer or angstrom. Just to give you a comparison, a hydrogen atom is about 53 picometer wide, but a cesium atom around 265 picometer. That's 5 times bigger. Pretty crazy how much atoms can vary in size, right? Now you might be wondering, how do scientists even measure the size of something we can't see? Good question here. There are a few different ways depending on the type of atom. First up, covalent radius. This is used when two identical atoms are bonded together like Cl2, chlorine, or O2, oxygen. We measure the distance between two nuclei and take half of that. Simple and super common for non-metals. Next, metallic radius. In metals, atoms sit close together in a kind of lattice. Here we also take half of the distance between two neighboring atoms. This is useful for elements like sodium or copper. And finally, van der Waals radius. This is ones for noble gases or atoms that are not bonded. The interactions are weak, so the atoms are more separated out, which means the van der Waals radius is usually larger than the covalent one. So depending on the context, the atomic radius can vary, but all of them help us understand atomic size in different situations. Now let's talk about what controls the size of an atom. There are 3 big factors. Number 1, number of electron shells. More shells is equal to more layers is equal to bigger atom. Think of it like adding layers to an onion. For example, lithium has 2 shells but cesium has 6. That's a major size difference. Number 2, nuclear charge. That is proton in the nucleus. The more protons an atom has, the stronger it pulls on its electrons. So even if the shell number stays the same, more proton means the atom shrinks a bit. For instance, fluorine with 9 proton is smaller than oxygen with 8. Number 3 is electron shielding. Inner electrons block the attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electrons. More shielding is equal to less pull, that is equal to larger size. This becomes more noticeable as we move down a group in the periodic table. So remember, it's all about shells, protons, and shielding. Now let's move to the trends in the periodic table. When we go across a period that's from left to right, atomic size actually gets smaller. Surprising, right? Why? Here's the reason. More protons are added to the nucleus, more electrons are added too, but they all go in the same shell. No extra shielding happens, so the pull from nucleus gets stronger. That stronger pull brings the electron closer, making the atom smaller. Example time in period 2, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, the size decreases from 152 picometer to 64 picometer. So as we move across, atoms get tighter and smaller. Now let's look down a group from top to bottom. Here's the trends flips. Atomic size increases as we go down. Why? Each new element adds a new electron shell. Even though there are more protons, the shielding effect grows stronger. That shielding reduces the attraction on outer electrons, letting the atoms expand. Example, group 1 alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. The size goes from 152 picometer to a whopping 265 picometer. So the lower you go in a group, the bigger the atom becomes. Of course, chemistry always has a few exceptions. Number one, noble gases. These guys like helium, neon, and argon don't bond easily. Their atomic sizes are often based on van der Waals radii, which makes them look larger than expected. Number two are transition metals. These elements have electrons filling the d orbitals, which don't do a great job at shielding. As a result, their size stays fairly constant across the row, not shrinking as much. Number three is ions that are also known as charged atoms. Cations, positive ions lose electrons, so they get smaller. Anions, negative ions gains electron, making them larger. For example, sodium cation is smaller than sodium atom. Chlorine cation is bigger than chlorine atom. Chlorine anion, is bigger than chlorine. So it's important to consider whether you are looking at a neutral atom or an ion. Alright, let's quickly wrap this up. Atomic size is the distance from nucleus to outermost electron. It depends on the number of shells, the nuclear charge, and shielding. It decreases across a period and increases down a group. There are some exceptions like noble gases, transition metals, and ions, but overall these trends help us understand chemical reactivity and bonding. And that's a wrap up on atomic size. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new today, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Chemical Compass, hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next lesson. Got any question or want to request a topic for the future lecture? Drop a comment below. I will read them all. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Stay curious and keep exploring chemistry.